Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I will play registeel lead with meganium and galvantula in the back. So my first opponent is Trofu, and I lead with registeel into his Tropius, which is good for me. And I expect the switch, so I look in the top right corner, and as soon as I see the typing of Azumarill, I switch in meganium, but sadly I was too late, since he's going to be able to fire off 2 ice beams. And the second ice beam, I will have to shield this, so I can make sure that I lock his Tropius against my registeel. So the best thing I can do here is just fire off as many charge moves as I can, even though they are double resisted, and hopefully get Tropius in range where 1 flash cannon can be enough. So in this situation it's still pretty even. He has shield advantage and energy advantage, but I resist everything he can throw at me. So I expect to switch and have my Galvantula ready, and blindly switch into it as soon as he switches. So in this situation I will reach 3 discharge before he reaches 3 flash cannons. So it's slightly favorable for me, but I also know that his Tropius has a lot of energy in the back. So I fire off my charge moves as soon as I get them, and here he makes a nice switch to catch the discharge, but he's pretty much forced to shield this, since if he didn't, then he would have to throw a charge move at Galvantula, and then my registeel would be faster than him to a focus blast. So here I can just farm down and fire off a focus blast immediately. So that's game 1 of the run. And my next battle is against Manuel, and he also leads with Tropius against my registeel. So he switches and I switch into meganium immediately as soon as I see the typings in the top right corner. And this time I was slightly quicker, so I will be able to reach 2 frenzy plants before he reaches 2 ice beams. So it's basically the exact same situation as before, but now I have 2 shields instead of 1. But this time, instead of having a registeel, my opponent has an Alolan Marowak, which is obviously very bad for me, since my entire team is weak to fire. So I send in Galvantula here, and I will use both of my shields on Galvantula, because I know that at least my Volt Switches do a lot of damage. And as long as I keep my registeel fairly healthy in the back, it will be able to beat Tropius. So now his Alolan Marowak is pretty low, so I will be able to farm it down and have a lot of energy for Tropius, but he switches, and here I see that his Tropius is a Razor Leaf Tropius, which is slightly worse for me, since Razor Leaf and Tropius has a higher TDO than an Air Slash Tropius. But it's still fairly okay, and now I have a charge move ready and he has a charge move ready, and I just hope that it is not Shadow Ball, because I can survive a Bone Club, since it's pretty much the worst move in the game, and I win that match slightly, even though he had an Alolan Marowak. The next game is against Atric, and he leads with Dewgong against my registeel, so this is favorable for me, and I know that we reach Focus Blast and Icy Wind at the same time, so I'm not going to fire that off right away. And then he switches and I can use my Flash Cannon instead. So now I send in Galvantula, and I know that both Meganium and Registeel has favorable matchups against Dewgong in the back. And here I will, as long as I use my own shield, I will be able to force his shields away. So this is a good spot for me. I use my second shield and hopefully get to another discharge, but he overcharged more than I thought, and manage to get the switch advantage. But now I can farm down with registeel because the Deoxys has so low HP, so it's against one turn charge move, it's just not that tanky anymore. And here registeel is just so strong against two Pokemon in a row that are weak to fighting. So this is pretty much a wrap up. He still plays because maybe I have Haunter in the back, but I have Meganium, and yeah, this is over. I know that he will try to switch it, so I'm just going to keep on doing Vine Whips until he switches, and then after doing my last Vine Whip on Dugong, I just fire off the Frenzy Plant. And opponent number 4 is Sir Ryuga, and he leads with Dugong like the last opponent, but this time he switches immediately into Haunter, and this is an interesting matchup since Registeel outclasses Haunter in total damage output, but Haunter with shields is just devastating and my lock-ons are not doing any damage at all. And I know I can survive 2 Shadow Punches and still reach 2 Flash Cannons, so that's why I'm not shielding, and then I switch in Meganium immediately after so that I can fire off Frenzy Plant and beat this Haunter. I shield the first one since I expected it to be a Shadow Ball, and not the second one since it was too quick after the first charge. I have a full health Galvantula and a low health Meganium with some energy and a shield advantage. And he makes a nice switch into Registeel, and then I'm going to shield this one since I have a Frenzy Plant ready and immediately switch to Galvantula, because now I know that I can fire off my Frenzy Plant against Dugong later in the game. And this is a good spot for me because I'm faster to discharge, and then he's to 2 Flash Cannons, and now he's in Frenzy Plant range, so it's basically over, but he even lets me reach another discharge. And here he has only got 1 HP left, so I send in Registeel instead, so that I don't have to take a charge move. The last opponent in this run is queuing in, and he leads Shiftry into my Registeel, so this is good if I can manage to hit a Focus Blast, but otherwise he will win with just straight foul plays. So first I bait and he shields, so this is good. And now if I just go for a Focus Blast, I can force his second shield or win the leading matchup. So he actually shields twice, so now I'm in a pretty good spot, even though none of my Pokemon behind can defeat Shiftry that easily. But Shiftry is glassy enough, so I will just be able to defeat him later with a Frenzy Plant or Discharge maybe. And here you can see how strong Galvantula is, just pretty much one-shots defense Deoxys. And I expect him to have energy for a charge move, so I throw my Discharge immediately. And now it's pretty even, but he has Azumarill in the back, and Azumarill has absolutely zero chance against a Meganium with energy advantage. So just almost back-to-back Frenzy Plant, and then it's over. So that's my 5-0 run with Registeel and Galvantula and Meganium. Thanks for watching.